I love Evangelion, but I don't love this movie. Hey, my name is Jobby, and we're taking a look at Evangelion 3.0+1.0 Thrice Upon a Time. And before you lose your hair over that opinion, consider Keeps the sponsor of this video. Keeps is a subscription service that makes male pattern baldness treatment affordable and convenient since it's online. 2 out of 3 guys experience male pattern baldness by the time they're 35. And it's better if you take action now since it's harder to reverse the effects of complete baldness. But keep in mind, it takes about 4 to 12 months to start seeing results, so what better reason to start ASAP? Head on over to keeps.com/JobbytheHong to get 50% off your first order. This doesn't feel quite right. I'd rather talk about the film genuinely. And throughout this review, I'm gonna be showing a discussion I had with my brother-in-law, DJ Occult, which I actually did do an Evangelion podcast with him a while back.
Yeah, we did it on a podcast, the Real Vibes podcast on my channel, DJ Occult.
I'll have the full conversation in the description. A conversation I had while filming my next toy review, which is what I usually do on this channel. Like, comment, subscribe. Now, I want to make it very clear. I'm a big fan of Evangelion. The series, the original show. It's a very personal thing for me that I love about it. It helped me out during some dark times. So a lot was riding on this film. And to be sure, there is a lot to love about the film. Technically, it's astounding. You can definitely see why the film took a long time to produce. Visually outstanding. If anything, this movie shows that artistic creative spirit that's within Hideaki Anno is still burning as bright as it was back in the 90s. Voice work, both in English and in Japanese, fantastic. By the way, I've watched this movie 2 times. Spike Spencer, man, he still has it as Shinji. I mean, I could do a second-rate impression, but that's way different than the emotions and the weight that Spike Spencer brings to the Shinji character. Now, to get into the other stuff that I liked, I would have to spoil it a little bit more. Now, before we get into spoilers, I just want to say that I do like the movie. I know the title is a little bit clickbaity. I do recommend the movie as long as you've watched everything else Evangelion previously. Thank you, Jeff Bezos, or whoever runs Amazon while he's mining kryptonite in space. I love that after that action-packed opening scene in Paris, that the movie slows down a bit. Which I actually liked the little village. I actually liked that part. It felt grounded.
We got to see Yui kind of go through a transformation, right? Yeah, we got to see the clone kind of learn humanity and then suffer the repercussions of it because of how she was created and Nerve blows her up, which was awesome. I think that was great. That village portion of the film, it really is a celebration of humanity and responsibility. It really is the main message, at least the main message that I get out of the franchise. Life is hard, but it doesn't have to be hell, as long as you make something of a bad thing. And let's talk about Gendo. Gendo as a villain, he's fantastic. And I love that Gendo's instrumentality scenes really digs deeper into his psychology. And that final fight between Shinji and Gendo, I think, was really strong. I do like a lot about the movie, and I might not have covered everything that I like about it, but the cons are what stick out to me. Keep in mind, my opinion, and I'm not taking away Hideaki Anno's right to make a deeply personal story. I understand that, but it is also a work of art, and every work of art is open to critique, and I am not exempt from that. Everyone's open to critique. Okay, just getting it out there before you lose your hair. Consider where do I even start? I think that the ending was maybe too optimistic for my taste. Unrealistically so, I would say. I'm gonna bring it back to End of Eva just because I love that movie so much. I feel that a lot of people misconstrue what End of Eva was trying to convey, or at least I got something out of it that's different from what a lot of people say about it. I saw it as Shinji, as a broken, traumatized character, had to literally go through the devastating effects of instrumentality in order to slightly improve a little bit. Awesome, that's realistic. Like you said, he still has a long way to go where he's choking Asuka on the beach. It's a big metaphor for the fact that he's not done.
So the movie leaves you with a bittersweet note that I always love in movies, actually. The Rebuild ending, on the other hand, at the end of this film, it doesn't feel like there's any more room for improvement. This is the happy ending. This is it. Shinji's redemption felt a touch unearned. Because keep in mind, Rebuild Shinji has done even more terrible things than the original Shinji did. He literally ended the world twice.
He's already committed genocide several times.
2 times.
He's committed. He's like 2 Hitlers. You know what I mean?
No, he truly is a menace. He's truly a menace. Everyone who fears him in the rebuilds is justified in fearing him.
Yes. You can't give me a happy ending after that. Like,
the original series, they punished his character way more for much less. What was the worst that he did in the original show? It was just, what? I mean,
bust a nut.
That's just one of my biggest issues. The note that the movie leaves off on. And the fact that the universe just handed him a waifu? I still don't understand what Mari's position in the story was. Let's talk about Mari, the brand new character that on initial watch felt more like a marketing gimmick than anything else. And by the end, still kind of feels like a marketing gimmick. So I guess she's the same age as Gendo and Yui, but she was waiting for Shinji to grow up to marry him. And personality-wise, I just couldn't really get into Mari as a character. She's just not as interesting as all of our other established characters like Asuka and Rei and Shinji. I just find her a little grating, and it just feels like she's just there for fan service. Time for some surface level critiques. That's also something that I don't like about the rebuilds in general, the fan service he shots. Don't get me wrong, I like the booty, I like the titty, but when it comes after, or even during a very emotional scene, it takes off a little bit of that emotional weight. The original series had its fair share of fan service, but it never felt distracting to the degree that the rebuilds do. I didn't like the look of Fourth Impact. I get what they were going for with the CG naked Rei. They wanted that uncanny feeling for it. I just felt that the 3D animation in that scene was not as strong as it could have been. It's just an aesthetic criticism, really. It doesn't affect my overall enjoyment of the movie. But what does compromise my enjoyment are the action scenes. The rebuilds have simultaneously the best Evangelion action scenes I've seen and some of the worst. And I hate to make this comparison, but at a certain point, I got Michael Bay vibes. It was the type of action that made my eyes glaze over, where it was just visual noise. Even though I watched it 2 times, I'm not gonna remember the final siege of Nerve HQ as much as I remember Asuka's death in End of Eva. I guess I'm just a cynical asshole. Because what I didn't vibe with the movie on was the optimistic tone at the end of it. The happy endings of each character felt rushed, they felt unearned.
I hate to say it, but, you know, suffering, when we see it, you know, in this series, including the first, it's rewarding because it's not that we're after the suffering. It's like, I'm not unhappy with the ending because I'm a sour person and I want to see a depressed ending, you know? I'm, you know, I just want to see these characters reach realizations and character building and character dissolving. And I feel like in this series, it was not that at all. At least in the last movie.
Let all these characters have their time in the sun. I love all of them and I only want the best for them, but I also wanted to see a more satisfying journey to get there. Now, going back to the original message of Evangelion that I got out of it, life is suffering, but if you work hard enough and you put the effort in, you can make something good out of it. But with the happy endings of the characters we get in this movie, what I get from it is that because you suffer, you deserve a happy ending. And that's not a good message. That's not a good message. Because everyone suffers, but not everyone deserves a happy ending. Ultimately, they were just handed a happy ending. Shinji is handed a wife.
Do we really sound sour right now? Like, are we being sour?
I'm wondering. I'm curious. Yeah. I think we'll just have to leave that to the comments. I have a feeling this is gonna piss a lot of people off. Overall, I did like the movie. I didn't hate it. I think I'll end up watching it again because I'm a fucking psychopath. And maybe on multiple rewatches, I'll enjoy the movie more and more, as I did with End of Eva. I give this movie, honestly... Oh, man. Want me to rate the movie now? Jesus. I'm not gonna do the traditional Godzilla kiss score here. We need something a little more nuanced. Let's go 7.5. Told you I didn't hate the movie. Let me know in the comments if you want to see me review more media like this, or let me know if my takes on movies are as shit as my takes on toys.
Bust a nut.
I mean, that's pretty bad, but... Still happening, but you might have to wait a little longer.